Hello everyone, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks preview. And today we are going to have a look at most likely the upcoming Tier VIII Polish Premium Medium tank, the CS-52. Now, well, you might ask yourself, why do I call this tank the potential premium tank? Well, let's just wait for a second. Obviously, those is a little overview of the stats. It's a unique looking, well, not really unique looking, but it's like a T-44-esque tank with a little bit more rounded turret shape, with a 320 alpha gun, which has 105 millimeters of caliber. Meaning, well, it is actually pretty decent at overmatching. Obviously, there's no big jumps between 90 millimeters. Well, it actually is. There's a jump between the 100 millimeters guns, but not really between 100 and 105 millimeters. But yeah, it has AP and APCR rounds, 6 degrees of gun depression. It's pretty speedy. Apparently, it also has some armor, and well, that's how it is. But you know, why exactly is this tank, or why do I consider this tank to be a premium tank? Well, Ouija, we don't know which one will be the new premium yet. Also Ouija, one tank looking like potato, another one being fully, modeled. Wiggy, we are not sure which of the new Polish Tier VIII medium tanks will become premium yet. Also Ouija, literally the only one texture tank. Again, those memes were stolen from Reddit. I sadly forgot to put in the names of the persons which did those memes, but I highly agree on, because it was literally the first thing I wrote to the German community manager about this as well, because it's just very, very obvious. Wargaming does have a history of introducing a premium tank earlier for an upcoming tech tree to promote its sales, to also promote to make a new tank commander or tank crew. Because usually the Tier VIII premium tanks have the same crew layout as the top tier tanks. For the Polish medium tanks, the Rudy will also do a very good job. The Poodle, however, not really, because it has one additional crew member, which is the radio operator. So, but yeah, what also does this support? Well, this is a screenshot which I got from WhatExpress, which shows the Supertest look of the tech tree. And well, as you can see, the CS-52 already is put into the premium section. Again, Wargaming said they don't know yet, but I don't know. Let's just jump into the firepower. Well, again, it is a 320 alpha gun, hence why I decided to not only compare it to the T-44-100, which apparently this tank is based on, but also the Lansen C, which has a 320 alpha gun, the TVP-VTU, which has a 320 alpha gun, and the M4A1 Revalorisé and the Judas 14-5, because those tanks are also premium and normal tanks which have a decent chunk of alpha damage. So the first thing you will notice, it's the 10.5 seconds reload time, and also this time I did use the base value, so we have an exact copy which we can compare it to. And you will notice that the DPM comes to around to 1828, which is exactly the same thing as what the M4A1 Revalorisé has. The penetration rate is actually pretty decent at 208 millimeters. It's the same thing as the Lansen, and I hardly had any issues when I was playing the Lansen with its penetration rate. However, it also has 252 millimeters of premium penetration, which is, well, the premium penetration of APCR, meaning it will be slightly worse overall than what the M4A1 Revalorisé has, as the M4A1 Revalorisé has 250 millimeter heat penetration, meaning the heat doesn't lose any penetration over distance. However, obviously the APCR rounds are a little bit faster. Well, the HE is also pretty substantial, 420 alpha, which is like 100 more, so against lightly armored vehicles this tank will wreak havoc. Now, let's move on to the to the accuracy values. 2.3 seconds aim time is pretty okay. As you can see, it is almost in the middle. The T-44-100 being a slightly bit faster aim time, and the Judas also, while the others are a little bit longer. The accuracy is 0.36, which is also slap dab in the middle, which is also very good in my opinion. You can totally work with this, and there's no big deal. However, when it comes to the accuracy here, you once again will see that the accuracy on the move, you have 0.16 and 0.16, and for the turret traverse 0.12, and you can see this is the exact same value the TVP VTU has. The M4A1 Revolorise's gun, well, it handles okay-ish. You know, it's not too bad, especially if you're using a vertical stabilizer. So I'd say, again, if you're playing the M4A1 Revolorise and think the gun handling is okay, the CS-52's gun handler will be exactly the same, you know. It will be even slightly a little bit better, but, you know, you're aiming quite quicker, 0.1 seconds quicker, and you are slightly less accurate with 0.01 meters, but then again, you have better traverse accuracy, so who gives? But once again, the T-44-100 is the undisputed king of accuracy on the move and turret traverse. Also, it has 6 degrees of gun depression, which is sadly one of the worst values, only being equaled by the TVP-V2 and the youuuu. However, the youuuu doesn't count because it has the hydropneumatic suspension. However, Lanzen C's and M4A1 Revolorise's 10 degrees they are very, very good. I'm not saying that -6 is not good, but obviously -10 is so much better. 17 degrees of gun elevation is also pretty decent, but yeah, it's okay. You can work with it. 20 would have been better, but I don't know. It's okay. Now let's come to the mobility, and the mobility on paper actually looks fairly good. 50 kph top speed, 20 kph reverse speed. However, 17 HP per ton ratio. That's almost a class worse. The M4A1 Revolorise is worse, but it has better terrain soft stats. Ours, the CS-52s, are 1.1, 1.3, and 2.6, which is the worst you can see right here, especially the traverse speed on soft terrain like the valley in Lakeville. Well, that is very, 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 very bad, you know. You can see it is comparable to what we have on the TVP-V2 and the youuuu. However, don't forget both those tanks have much better HP per ton ratio, around 2 to even 7 or 8 more, which is very, very, very much, okay? I do think, however, that this is also due to the fact that the tank actually has pretty decent armor protection. However, before we come to that, we also know 40 degrees of full traverse, that's totally fine. Like, again, T-44-100 is considered to be one of the strongest Tier 8 medium tanks. When it comes to be pure medium tank, the strongest one still being the Prosciutto, because herder, I have everything except armor. But yeah, it looks very, very good. Still, the CS-52, it looks like it's the slowest of the bunch here, obviously, but it's still good. Like, it's not something you are going to say, that's garbage, I don't want to play with this. So, to the survivability, and this is actually very interesting. It doesn't have that many hit points, just 1300. It, however, does have 80 millimeters of upper front plate armor in a very acute angle, so it actually will be fairly good at bouncing. I would even say it will be on par with the T-44-100, even though the T-44-100 has 100 millimeters more of upper front plate armor. However, all the other tanks, they do not have anything like this, obviously. However, its hit points are the lowest, which is very surprising because it looks rather bulky, you know. The turret armor, 190 millimeters on the paper, and we're going to have a look at pictures afterwards, and it looks like it will most likely just be the turret face. The rest will be a little bit worse, but again, 190 millimeters of turret armor is still pretty good, you know. On distance, for most Tier 8 medium tanks, it will be hard to a tough nut to crack. The same thing goes for the T-44-100, you know. 380 meters of view range, totally fine. With vents, with optics, and with rations, you are getting 445 meters of view range, which is a really good value. And with a good crew, you can even exchange the vents for, maybe the vents for a stabilizer. So yeah, it looks very, very good in that sense. So, conclusion. The first time I saw the values of this tank, I was thinking, yep, that thing looks broken. Like, that thing looks literally, again, very, very strong, on par with the T-44-100. But after you started to look into the stats a little bit more, I noticed that it is a T-44-100, which is slower, has less DPM, has less gun stats, has better penetration and a higher alpha, but most likely also worse armor. So now I have to ask myself, is the T-44-100 overpowered? Is it OP? I consider the T-44-100 to be strong. It's also why it has a pretty steep price tag for a Tier 8 medium tank. However, I don't consider it to be overpowered. I think it's strong. It's a strong medium tank. So I'd say the CS-52 might also be a strong medium tank, but I don't think it will be incredibly overpowered. Again, it has almost 200 DPM less than the T-44-100. It has by far worse handling on the gun as well as on the movement. So yeah, you can see, however, that the frontal plate is very acutely angled, but there is a driver's hatch, which might be a weak spot. And again, it's hard to judge how thick the turret front will be. You have cupolas, which the T-44-100 sadly almost lacks. You also have the side plates, which are not as big as the one of the T-44-100, but they will definitely help a little bit. However, this part up here, well, there won't be any additional armor. So yeah, even if this is going to be the premium tank, I don't really see this to be overpowered. It might be strong, but I don't think it will be like prosciutto levels. It won't be as a T-44-100. Like, if you have a T-44-100 and you're purely searching for a new premium tank, this won't make the cut. It won't. Because the T-44-100 is simply better from handling wise, from DPM wise, etc, etc, etc. Just penetration not. Penetration alpha, that's not your jam, but it really comes down how thick is the armor really of the CS-52. Other than that, I think it looks fairly balanced. And I even think Wargaming could ship this out right now, and it would look good. But again, this is my personal opinion. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about the CS-52. Do you think it is an overpowered premium? If it is going to be a premium, which it highly will, because again, it already has an armor model and already has an HD model, and Wargaming does want to release premium tanks earlier to promote their sales and obviously promote making a new crew. However, do you have any feedback for me personally? Because I always want to know if there's anything you like to see more. And obviously, if you think I did a good job and there is no need to feedback, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be always up to date with World of Tanks related news stuff. However, this time, again, the biggest change I did from the last video, the CS-63, well, it was using the base values to make it a lot more fair to compare. And again, I didn't actually know about this, on tanks.gg. We also this time got the soft stats of the gun and the mobility-wise, which is great, which is very, very good. I'm glad that I got this one. Again, this is also another point why I think the CS-52 will be a much more, premium tank-like tank. Because it has already everything set. Like, there's the whole Excel sheet, which all the values of the tanks are in it. The CS-63 didn't have this, so yeah. But again, if you have any feedback about how I'm promoting my stuff, about the thumbnails, this time I tried to not make it as clickbaity, because some people noticed and said, the content is great, but the thumbnails look like garbage, like it's just stupid clickbait shit. So yeah, again, I'm still experimenting, So again, if you promote or like my things, then feel free to share it, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great time, and sorry because of my cough. It shouldn't be COVID-19 because I wasn't outside yet for like 3 weeks or so, or 6 weeks, something like this. It's just most likely that the dry-ish weather is not really doing so good for my throat and the pollen outside. But whatever. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers and good luck on the battlefield.